For this video, I want to show you how I make tassels. I call them easy tassels. And this is done with the end caps that I did last week. And I've turned them into a pair of earrings. And you can make them in all different kinds of sizes. You can fancy them up with bead caps and crystals and whatever you like. Here's one with a little bit of carving and a large crystal. And this one I've done some little bronze discs on it. So yeah, you can get pretty fancy with them, and they're fun to do. This is one that I made quite some time ago. The shape of it I followed Donna Cato's class on Craft Art EDU, and the tassel itself though is done with my own method. The finish on this one is Shannon Tabor's raku tutorial, which was a really fun tutorial to do. I can't show you that. But so I'm not going to show you how to do the end caps because we did that last week. So refer to my video from last week. I have another shape here, which is basically a cone that I've taken a dowel and just made wider. So I'm going to finish that one off. And so anyways, the secret ingredient is this trim that you can buy. I bought mine at Walmart, and it comes on a card in the Sewing Notions, and I'm sure most fabric type stores like Joann's and stuff would have it. And it's very, very simple to use. So you need that. You need a needle and thread. To put it all together, you're going to need some wire and some nippers and your round nose pliers and chain nose pliers and stuff to make your loop, and little bits of odds and ends, whatever you can find. That's really up to you how you fancy them up. So here's a couple that I have pre-done. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I do them. So very simple. So you take your trim, and sometimes I don't even clip the bottom, but if you clip the bottom just a little bit, it keeps them from twisting as you're doing it. And a needle and thread, doesn't matter what kind of thread. And I just start rolling. I'll roll it up maybe 3-4 times, and then I'll start to take a stitch. Sorry, I got a little bit of a cold here. So this, what I'm using here is Fireline. It's almost impossible to knot, so I don't knot it. I'll just do a couple of stitches until it gets tight. If you're using a regular thread, you do like a sewing knot. So then I'll do a couple more rolls, or a roll and a half or something, and start working my way. I like to take my stitches on the edge of it. If I do too many going across the center, it interferes with putting the wire on. But if you're making a big thick one, you're going to want to probably take a couple of stitches right through the whole center part, just to keep that center part intact. So really what you want to do is have your end cap already done in place. So I'm going to go through that loop and do like a half hitch to sort of end it. So you have your end cap in place, and you sort of determine what size that needs to be. So that pretty much fits in there pretty good. So I'm at the end of this already. So I'm going to trim off the top. Just snip it, and then I have to snip it at the bottom. And then I'm just going to knot it here and make sure that doesn't come undone. A couple half hitch knots will do it. And cut that. So that's pretty much ready to go. So I'm gonna just, okay, hang on there. Okay, went to grab a piece of paper here. So the next thing, the way I want these trimmed, so I'm gonna just stick that in there just to get an idea about how long I'm gonna want it. And then I can pull it out, or I can leave it in, or whatever. And I'll put this in here, and I'll fold just a piece of paper. I'll just fold it over and hold that tight, and then I can cut the whole thing all at once. Oops. Okay, if your scissors are sharp, you can cut it usually in one pass, but so that's ready to go. I'll just trim this last little piece. Okay, so now to assemble it, I take my wire, and with my flush cutters or nippers, I'm cutting a sharp point, and then I'll just give myself about 4 or 5 inches, and I'll cut myself another really sharp point. So I don't know if you can see that from here, probably not, but anyways, it's a good sharp point. And then I'll take my pliers, round nose pliers or regular pliers, doesn't matter which, and one end I'm going to turn into a U shape, and you don't want that longer than your tassel part is. So then I'll take my tassel, I'll find the center, more or less, and I'm putting that point through the center and just pushing on it until it comes out the top. Oops. Okay, caught that a little bit. Okay, whoops, I had it. There we go. Okay, making sure I'm not catching anything I don't want to catch. And that hook will hold that in place. So then you put that through your end cap and pull it through nice and tight. You can put glue in it or if you want to. I usually don't. I find that it holds pretty good, but it depends on what you want your tassel for. If it's going to be a pull for a fan or something, you might want to have that little extra security in case you grab it by the tassel itself. But so that's ready to go. You can just go ahead and put a little fancy end cap on it or something, and a crystal, and finish it off that way. So if you're having trouble getting the wire through your tassel, you can try it going the opposite direction. So you'd go from the top of the tassel this time and push it through the center. Give it a bend. It bends a little bit too much, so I'm going to trim some of that off. There we go. And then pull it through till it catches. So this one's going to go on this little bit of clay. And I've got a couple little decorative things to put on it. And then I'll make my wrap loop. So be sure to look at my video on how to make wrap loops for this part. end in. There you go. And then you can put, you know, a thread, or if you want a ball chain or something like that, make your loop a little bit bigger for that, and your tassel is done. So I hope you enjoy this and make lots of tassels. They're lots of fun to do, and I'll see you next time. Bye.